My grandfather was a World War II veteran, and when I heard about the honor flights that were going on in Nebraska, I contacted a Bill Williams, who was actually born and reared in Red Oak, Iowa. And Bill said, I'll tell you what, I can't do Iowa and Nebraska. Would you like to take up the cause maybe in western Iowa? And that's how I got involved with it. And I was just going to do a fundraiser at first, and then of course we took on the Western Iowa Central flight, which turned into the Central Iowa.
I had seen a story on one of the local news channels about Jeff doing honor flights in the Council Bluffs area, and there was a number to call, and so I just called this number, and I remember one thing Jeff told me when I got involved with this. He said, John, he says, this project is going to be one of the biggest projects you'll probably ever take on in your lifetime. But he said, you know what, you're going to get the most out of it too. And that is so true, and I thank you so much for including me in the Honor Flight program here in Central Iowa.
First of all, the memorial took an awful long time to be built. Some of these men and women really didn't even get a proper welcome from World War II when they came home. So now it's time to make sure that the World War II generation, which we're losing at 1,200 to 1,500 a day, it's time to make sure they get an opportunity to see their memorial. The window is closing on the greatest generation. In 3 or 4 years, a lot of these guys won't be around. So that's why the project was such a big deal to both of us, actually, as it was to our committee. Not only are we thankful for the World War II veterans, but really all veterans. Although this trip focused on World War II veterans, we are thankful for all the veterans and what they do on our behalf. And we haven't forgotten that either.
It really is something that we want to thank our veterans. It was their efforts that allows us to live in a country that's free and to be able to do the kind of things that we've done.
I'm very, very pleased to say the donors from Iowa were very, very generous. In meeting specifically with Hy-Vee, John and I had a meeting with them, and within 5 minutes they approved a $250,000 donation for our veterans. Bob Myers and Casey's was very similar to what their generosity, not once, but multiple times.
Casey's goal was to send every World War II veteran from the state of Iowa that wanted to go see his memorial, that we were going to somehow, some way make that possible.
Families really came close together with this because these men came home from the war, as Jeff said. They went back to the factories. They went back to the fields. There weren't any big ticker tape parades, like he said. They worked their tails off once they got out of the war to make this country great. And that's what really, the reason why I'm so proud to have gotten involved, to give them one day to see what they've done for our country.
When I hear the stories of what these guys, men and women at 17, 18, and I think about what I was doing when I was 17, 18, or 19 years old, okay? And then I think what these guys were doing, storming Normandy. You know, they were storming Normandy. They were at Iwo Jima. They were all over the Pacific and the Atlantic Theater, seeing their best friends get killed and not knowing if every day was the last. And if you ask them about it, they don't have second thoughts. They say, shoot, yes, we were ready to go. We were attacked. And they did all that for us, for all of our behalves. Those are the heroes. Those are the people that put others in front of themselves. The feelings, the emotions that came from these flights and spending a day in Washington, D.C. to see their memorial with their brothers and sisters that they fought with was almost indescribable.
Just looking at their faces when they are all together at the World War II Memorial is priceless. We see all different types of emotion there. You see lots of smiles, but you see sometimes a lot of tears. It brings back a lot of memories that sometimes aren't too good of their experiences in World War II. And I think that's what really hit home to me when I saw the faces of these men and what they went through to get to this point in their life. It almost brings tears to my eyes, and it brings me chills just to think about that.
When we first came home, there was no parades, no nothing. You just tried to find a job. And then 60 or 70 years later, here this comes around. Yes, we are real honored.
It's a wonderful experience. It's memories I'll never forget.